Hey everyone! Today we're going to be making an Egyptian death mask, which is similar to what you see on the cover of this book. And I have my little helper Luke, who will be supervising our mask project today. You're going to need a large piece of cardboard and a pencil, some little blue strips of paper. I went ahead and cut these into 1/2-inch strips. These will go on top of the mask after we finish. You can find a mask mold like this one at a craft store, and they're already primed, but we're going to be doing some paper mache, so we're going to be altering it just a bit. You'll need a paper towel holder, and this will go at the bottom like this. You'll need some masking tape, a nice thick Sharpie. This Sharpie works on wet paper or dry surfaces, so just in case the paper mache isn't dry all the way, you can still use this on top. You'll also need some gold paint. This is a spray paint. You can also get a paintbrush and some gold paint if you'd like to do that. Some Mod Podge, a glue stick. You'll also be making a paper mache paste out of flour and water, or you can try the Mod Podge. I'm going to try this out and see how that works. You'll need some newspaper, and I don't have a lot of newspaper right now, so I'm also going to try using a paper bag, but ideally you'd just be using newspaper. So those are the supplies that you're going to need. The first thing you're going to do is take your mask and center it right in the middle of your cardboard. Essentially, we're going to make the outline that goes around, similar to what you see on the cover. So I'm going to try to use the whole piece of cardboard. Ideally, you wouldn't have any cuts on the sides, but I'm thinking that the paper mache will help not make that so much of an issue. So we're going to trace around, make a shape like this. So I've gone ahead and traced the outline of the mask. Since I have this little flap here, I decided to use that to extend the mask out a bit and then come in on the side. So it'll go around like this, and then around like this, and it'll go out again on that side and around to the top of the mask. The next step I'm going to do is, how are we doing, Luke? So at this point, we have it outlined in Sharpie marker. We're going to go ahead and use some scissors I have here, and I'm going to cut around the mask that I've outlined in Sharpie marker, including this. As I'm cutting, it's getting pretty difficult to go through the middle, and even around the bottoms here, it was pretty tight. So you're going to want to cut up around this way, then you can cut around back the other way. You can even go through the middle. That might give you a little bit of leverage as you're trying to cut out. Phew, that was a hand workout. I hope your hands aren't too tired after cutting that cardboard. I wanted to show you the back of the mask. It has this piece of elastic, and we're not cutting that part off because that will be what you use to attach around your head once we get finished. It's going to end up like this. So the next step is to take the masking tape and tape the mask. So you can see the notch I cut out of the paper towel holder for the beard that will go on our Pharaoh mask when you use the masking tape. Here's our paper mache mixture that I used to flour and water. I used the whisk to get out most of the lumps from the flour in our bowl here, and it's pretty thick. As I stir it, you can see it's pretty drippy, but it's kind of like pancake mixture. So if you ever made pancakes with your parents, it's about that consistency. So we're going to take the strips of newspaper and we'll dip it in. You'll pick it up and you'll use 2 fingers and slide it down the side of the paper to get off a lot of the excess. The more paste that you use, the longer it's going to take for it to dry. And it has to be completely dry. We're all done with paper mache. The 1 sheet of newspaper was enough to be able to complete the whole project. I was really surprised. I left room for the eyes and the little nose holes. This mask didn't have a mouth hole, so I just covered that spot up. I paid close attention to the crease that went around the mask and underneath to make sure that we really get a good seal. We don't want the mask, the craft mask, to come away from the cardboard. So we're going to let the mask dry overnight, or a good 8 hours. Depends on when you do this during the day. And then after that, we'll be ready to start painting. It's starting to look. Voila! It's been about 24 hours since we finished making the paper mache and allowing it to dry, and it turned out great. The little flaps on the sides here went up a little bit, but that'll just give it a little bit of character. The next step that we are going to do to finish our mask is to take it outside and spray paint. Make sure that you're in a really well ventilated area outside. Here we are outside. I have my paint. I need to shake it up a bit before we get started. I'm going to take the gold paint and spray paint all over the mask, giving it a nice even coat. As you're painting, you want to make sure that you get all the sides. And give it plenty of time to dry. You'll need to look at the... So Anna's helping with this last finishing touches with the blue strips of paper. We've glued a lot of strips onto the gold mask. And the last step is going to be highlighting using the black Sharpie marker. We're going to outline the eyes just like you would do with some eyeliner, and also the mouth and some of the other. And that's